Hello and good morning everyone and welcome to yet another vlog. And yes, continuing our revision, quick revision of small topics of audit for the intermediate level. I am going to discuss a very important topic today guys, because this topic has recurred in the examination several times and I thought it's really important to make a video on this topic. So hi, I am CSES CMA Nikhil Gupta and today I'm going to discuss the two topics for your CMA Inter examination. They are audit engagement and audit program. Guys, these two topics have recurred in the examination. If you see past trend, which you should have in your scanner, that past trend clearly shows that examination questions contain one of the at least one question from either of the chapters necessarily. So let's start audit engagement. So now what do you mean by audit engagement? Guys, before starting any audit, it is mandatory for the auditor and the auditee to enter into a formal relationship. Because if anything goes wrong in the future, then this is the document which is to be referred to by the auditor as well as the auditee. So this document should contain all the terms and conditions of the engagement. It should contain the scope of the auditor. It should contain the fees of the auditor. It should contain if any restrictions are imposed on the auditor, those restrictions should be contained in this document. So this document has to be a complete thorough document which is prepared with a view to safeguard the interest of the auditor as well as the auditee. This document is known as audit engagement, which is signed before the commencement of any audit by an auditor. So it refers to the initial stage of audit during which auditor notifies the client that he has accepted the audit work. This stage is known as audit engagement. The engagement letter is one firm's contract with your client. So engagement letter is the contract of the auditor and the auditee. So it is known as the engagement letter, audit engagement letter. Now let's see what are the several clauses of an engagement letter and how does engagement letter look like. So an engagement letter looks like this, guys. We are studying example of an engagement letter. So the first thing which is there in the engagement letter is the addressee. Whom is the engagement letter addressed to? Guys, addressee is always the person whom auditor is accountable for. So accountability of the auditor is to the appointing person. So the person who has appointed the auditor will be accountable to that person, and therefore mentioning about this addressee is very important, because tomorrow if auditor is going to be responsible to someone, he will be this person who's mentioned in the addressee. For statutory audit, these the addressee should be the shareholders, generally the members of the company. And for cost audit, this addressee should be the board of directors, because the board of directors are the people who are liable for cost audit. However, the shareholders appoint the statutory auditors and the cost auditors are appointed by the board of directors. So depending upon the situation, addressee will undergo a change. Second point which is to be evaluated in an engagement letter is that you have requested that we audit the financial statements of the company as defined under section 240 of the Companies Act for the financial year beginning from this period to this period. So this is the purpose paragraph in which the purpose of the audit engagement letter is to be enumerated. So the second aspect of the audit engagement letter is the purpose of audit engagement letter. Purpose should clearly be demarcated in the initial paragraphs of the audit engagement letter. Third paragraph should be the objective of the audit. What is the objective of audit? Objective of audit is to present a true and fair view. So objective of me or our expressing an opinion if the aforesaid financial statements give the information required by Companies Act in the manner so prescribed. And the very important line, guys, give a true and fair view in conformity with the applicable accounting principles and standards. So the ultimate objective of any cost audit or any audit is to give a true and fair view. So the third paragraph should contain the objective of the audit, and usually the objective is to give a true and fair view. Fourth paragraph, guys, is the scope paragraph. And in the fourth paragraph, you need to write or mention what is the scope of any audit. So we conduct our audit in accordance with standards of auditing. You have to write that we follow standards of auditing issued by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, deemed to be prescribed by central government in accordance with section 143 of the Companies Act. So this is the scope of the audit. Scope is very, very important. It will cover what all legislations are you looking at, what all details are you looking at, what all laws will you be referring to or standards will you be referring to. All should be contained in this scope paragraph. So the fourth paragraph is the scope paragraph. Then fifth paragraph, and according to me, the most important paragraph, guys, this paragraph entails the limitations of audit. You remember we studied that audit is done on a sample basis, sometimes test check basis. It is not 100% verification of the accounts. Therefore, this limitation should be enumerated somewhere so that the board of directors are aware of this fact that auditors are not doing 100% checking. They are doing sampling. Sampling means out of 100 items, they are picking only 10 items for their selection. Because of the inherent limitations of an audit, including the possibility of collusion and improper management, override of contracts, there is an unavoidable risk that material misstatement due to fraud or error may occur and not be detected. So this is also one of the limitations of audit, that due to management having sufficient authority in the controls, there may be possibility of a fraud. So audit does not ensure 100% guarantee. Audit just ensures a reasonable guarantee. So these limitations should be culled out from this paragraph, paragraph number 5. If there are any limitations of audit, they should be brought out in para number 5. Then para number 6, guys, will be management responsibility. Paragraph 6 enumerates the duties which are to be done by the management. For example, preparation of cost accounts or preparation of financial statements are not an auditor's responsibility, guys. They are responsibility of the management. Management has to take onus of preparing accounts. Auditor cannot prepare accounts. So our audit will be conducted on the basis of the management and those charged with the governance acknowledge and understand that they have the responsibility for preparation of financial statements. So preparation is not an auditor's responsibility but a management's responsibility. Compliance are management's responsibility. Auditors will not do compliance. Management will do compliance. Maintenance of accounts and other matters are management's responsibility. An auditor is not responsible to maintain accounts. Then preparation of financial statements on a going concern basis is management's responsibility and not auditor's responsibility. Preparation of annual accounts using the applicable accounting standards, this is again management's responsibility. Auditor is just checking whether the accounts are prepared as per the relevant standards or not. Selection of accounting policies and applying them consistently, this is again management's responsibility. Management should decide what accounting policy should be chosen. Taking care for maintenance of adequate accounting records, safeguarding of assets, and preventing and detecting fraud. These are again management's responsibility. Laying down internal financial controls. So controls are to be established by the management and not by the auditor. Maintenance of control is management's responsibility. Then devising proper system to evaluate the applicability of any provision of law is also management's responsibility. So applicable law are complied with on time, TDS is being deposited on time, service tax is being deposited on time, PF is being deposited on time. All these compliance procedures are to be done by the management and not by the auditors. So this is the management responsibilities paragraph, which is very important. Another responsibility is identifying and informing me of financial transactions. So management has to identify the financial transactions and has to report to the auditor. Then informing me or us, which means auditors, of the facts that may affect the financial statements. Any facts which are affecting the financial statements, auditor has to be told those facts by the management. So there are several other responsibilities which are given, which are pertaining to the management. But if you remember only these 4-5 responsibilities, I think you will be able to attempt any question in the examination. Now comes paragraph number 7, and it is again a very important paragraph, guys. Use of work of others or experts. Guys, in your auditing process, sometimes you are not technically very sound to do certain things. For example, we are not engineers that we are going to tell what is the stage of production or what is the level of production for computing work in progress, how much work is completed. So if the company is making engines, so what percentage of engine is complete? 50%, 60%, 70%? We are not aware because we are not engineers. That is the responsibility of the engineer. So we will rely on the certificate provided by the engineer for ascertaining the percentage completion in work in progress. Similarly, we use work of the expert like actuarial valuers who are ascertaining our provision from gratuity and leave encashment. So if we are using any work of the other experts, guys, this should be enumerated in the engagement letter. So board of directors should be made aware of this fact that we will involve specialists wherever required. I or we may involve specialist staff from our affiliate network firms to provide certain specific audit procedures during course of my or our audit. So this is use of others or use of experts. So this is an important paragraph. So this is illustration number 2, guys. We need not do illustration number 2 because illustration number 1 is self-sufficient. And if you remember the 7 points which are given in illustration number 1, they are more than sufficient. Now comes on to a very, very important aspect, guys. Audit program. So guys, just like we plan our things, so if suppose I am planning to go to watch a movie, there's a movie which has been released and I want to watch that movie. I need to plan. I need to see how would I book the movie tickets. I need to see whom should I go with, how many people should go. I need to see who will buy the popcorns in the interval and how much would they cost. I need to see what kind of movie should I watch and whether the seats will be available or not. I need to see where to go, how to cross that distance and how to reach to that place. So all these things needs planning. Similarly, guys, audit needs planning. Before you start any audit, you need to plan how many people will go, how many qualifieds are required in the audit and how many semi-qualifieds are required in the audit, how many files are required in the audit, how long will it take to reach to the auditee's place. So such things are included in audit program, and audit program is a critical aspect which is to be done before commencement of the audit. So usually what happens is that before commencement of the audit, we tend to ask from the client to give us the financial statements so that we know how many heads are there. After seeing the heads, we decide which head is critical head, which head is not critical head. The not critical head will be given less attention by us and the most critical head will be given more attention by us. Then we will bifurcate the heads according to seniority of the staff which is being employed for that particular audit. So like the more experienced staff would be given critical heads like revenue, like expenses, like human resource expenses, like TDS. These critical heads or the critical checking will be given to more experienced staff, and the less experienced staff, they will be given certain easy account heads like some repair and maintenance expenses or some small expenses. They are given the less amount of expense heads. So this entire process of planning is known as an audit program, and we document that audit program properly. So detailed plan of auditing work is audit program. Detailed plan of auditing work. So we'll discuss 6 aspects of audit program. Number 1, specifying the procedures to be followed. So number 1 thing which is important is tell us what are the procedures which you are going to follow for the audit. Number 2, estimate the time required. How much time is required for the entire audit. Number 4, what is the work to be done? Nature of the work to be done is to be ascertained. Number 3, details with regard to conduct of particular audit. How will we conduct the audit? That is also to be ascertained. Number 5, distributing the audit work. Depending upon seniority of the staff, we need to distribute the work. Then number 6, checking against the possibility of any omissions. We need to wholesomely see whether we are, if we are not omitting to check any aspect of the audit. So these 6 steps are undertaken in an audit program. Now, what are the advantages of audit program, guys? Audit program helps us to function our audit in a smooth manner. So audit will go smooth only if audit program is properly prepared. So it is a checklist for audit procedures. Audit procedures are to be done, and checklist for audit procedures is the audit program. Work done can be properly allocated. Allocation of work done is not a problem if audit program is in place. Know the extent of work. What is the extent of work to be done? If you want to know that, then audit program is the ready referral material. To account for individual responsibility. Who is responsible for whom? For what work is to be done by audit program. Uniformity of work. Everyone will do work in a uniform space and there will be no chaos while doing the audit work. Planning a program for the following years. So the program which is made for current year can be used to create program for the following year as well. As an evidence by the auditor if he is brought any charge against him. Audit program will prove that auditor has duly done his duties well, and for any allegations which is brought against the auditor, audit program can serve as a tool or a measure to tell the alligators that this allegation is false and auditor has done his duty properly. Selection of team members. It is useful to select team members for the appropriate job and assign duties to them so that there's no chaos while doing the audit subsequently. But there are certain disadvantages also of the audit program, guys. Disadvantages are like audit program makes it mechanical, it makes it repetitive. So same audit program is used year on year, so it becomes very monotonous. Unnecessary for small concern. If you are auditing very small concern, then there's no use to spend so much of time and efforts in making a plan or a program. You can just randomly go and do audit of a very small concern. Inefficient staff may defend themselves by stating that matter was not contained in the audit program. So if anything skips from the audit program, then the staff will say it wasn't there in the audit program and hence we didn't check it. So it will become an excuse for the inefficient staff. Then rigid programs cannot be laid for each type of businesses. Now this is the most important point, guys. We cannot have standard audit programs for all the organizations because every organization is a different organization and every organization requires a different set of audit program. Therefore, one audit program for all the organizations is not sufficient. Therefore, a rigid audit program or a standard audit program cannot be prepared for all the organizations. So yes, these are the two topics which we had to discuss for today. These are easy topics, guys. If you just read them thrice and understand their applicability, you will be able to perform really well in your examination. So just do well and practice more, read more. The golden way to do audit is to read it thrice, underline just the way I have underlined it. You highlight it and underline the important points and just focus on the important points in your second and third revision, right? So that's all for this video, and if you want to take this books as your notes, then the phone number is given in the description box. You can easily refer to this book as well. And yes, that's it for this video, and I'll be coming up with more videos subsequently till your examination. I'll try to cover as many important topics as possible for all of you. Till that time, all the very best and happy studying.